Even our music is not wholesome. How we disrespect each other so bad. I slept with your girl. I beat you up. I jumped them. I stabbed them. I shot them. That's what we marinate our mind into. To where we dance to it. We dance to foolishness. We dance to hatred. The decay of our people. You're not talking about doing that to Jewish people. Your record will be snatched off the shelves.
Right.
We treat worse than the child pedophiles. When they see us out there teaching the God's word, the whole neighborhood starts to say, who is these niggas? Get them out of here now. They is destroying our community. I thought the drugs did. I thought Pookie did. I didn't break in your house. I didn't break in your car. That's why I say we have a venomous, poisonous hatred. It's deadly. It's on a cycle. And now that's what the Most High is telling us, that you have to learn how to love your people. You got to learn how to speak to them. And it's difficult. It's difficult. Because we go out there and teach God's words and we treat it worse than the drug dealers. Instead of being mad at your brother, you got to go pray for your brother. God, open this brother's heart. That's why your politicians don't help you. That's why nobody's helping you. Because dealing with a difficult people. The only thing going to help our people is a spiritual intervention.
All right. It is true, brothers and sisters. First off, I pray everybody having a good time. Everybody having a good time?
Yes, sir.
All praise. All praise. Good to see all y'all beautiful faces out there coming to keep this feast. Rehearsing the righteous act. Preparing your soul and your mind and your body as well for the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you got to prepare your spirit for. Because at the end of the day, it's what we're going back to. You know what I'm saying? So we got to purge out all that wickedness and evil and thoughts that are not of the Most High from us. All right. So let's jump right into class. All right. So I want to read the definition of accountability. Let's read the definition of accountability. Because there's a lot of attributes when you say accountability. One's accountability starts with who? You. How you are fixing yourself, examining yourself, and being able to fix yourself, so then do what? All that will be able to help one another, basically. All right. That'll feed off from you to your brother, to your sisters. All right. Because in the world, we didn't know how to do that. You got the definition of accountability. All praise. Thank you, officer. Yeah, accountable.
Definition of accountable. Of a person, organization, or institution.
So let's stop right there and say of a person. So first is dealing with who? You brothers and sisters have to be accountable for oneself. Understanding and examining oneself. This is how you fix you. Go ahead. What's the other say?
Of a person, organization, or institution.
And then you bring those traits and abilities of self-examination, of purging out those things that affect you, to where? This organization. To what? This body. Alright? And then we can start to do what? Build together. That's what the truth is about. Building together. Not having vainglory. Not look at me. Not being selfish. Because did Christ come in that spirit of selfishness? Not at all. He gave himself, his life, for who? Us. The nation of Israel. And how I go, I'm going to put you later on this last question. Because this is the spirit that we have to have. We have to embody Christ's mind, his spirit. We have to embody it. When every one of us embodied it, we're Christ-like. Now we will look at our neighbor and love them as we love ourselves. You know, just like the brothers going around wee hours of the night, you know what I'm saying, yesterday, the day before, helping brothers and sisters set up their tents. All right? And it wasn't just the tent team, it was everybody. Officers, soldiers, everybody putting their hands to the plow to help their brothers and sisters set up. Why? Because you have to be nation-minded. Once you become nation-minded, selfishness and what's another word? Pride, vainglory. We'll stick with selfishness. Nobody got no other synonyms for me, but vainglory and selfishness, you can't have that spirit because Christ didn't roll in that spirit. All right, read it.
John chapter 15, verse 13.
Greater
love had no man than this, that a man laid down his life for his friends.
Right. No greater love than this. This is the love that you have to have. If you married, this is the love you're supposed to have for your wife. Right? That you would protect her and lay your life down for her if it came to it. As well as your children, and as well as what? Your nation, your brothers. Back in that time, of course, when we was actually putting hands on nations, what we had to do? Lay our life down for our brothers. That's the same spirit that you brothers have to be rolling in as military minded. All right? Via the army of the Lord. All right? To go back.
Definition of accountable. Of a person, organization, or institution required or expected to justify actions or decisions.
Stop right there. It says required or expected to justify actions. So you're required to justify your actions. That's just like it is in this truth. All right? Give me that one in Acts. Acts 7 or 6? 7. Everything is based off of what? Your actions. Your report. All right? Being accountable for oneself. Yes, 6 and 3. Yes, sir.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 6, verse 3. Wherefore, brethren, look ye out among you 7 men of honest report.
7 men of honest report. All right, it says required or expected to justify actions. Everything that we do is justified by what? The Bible. Us being out here today is justified of what? The Bible. All right? Everything we do and is with understanding. Not like earlier when we saw that, right? If y'all saw it, you know what I'm talking about. The point is, we are actually living and applying the scriptures to our life. That's how we're justified. All right? Go ahead.
Full of the Holy Ghost and wisdom, whom we may appoint over this business.
Whom may we appoint over this business? Over who business? The Lord's business. All right? Everything that we're doing here, all the structure and order that you see, the sisters on one side, the brothers on the other side, sisters in order, brothers in order. Being out here for Tabernacles, this is the Sabbath, tomorrow's the Sabbath. All this is what? Thus said the Lord. This is the order and structure that Titus told us, or just say Paul told us throughout the scripture. That's what Paul was doing. Setting up order and structure throughout what? All these different countries. All right? These different places. Thessalonica, Corinth, Ephesus, thank you. All these different congregations, all right? They had to be established. And these men of good report, of a good name, had to be set up. Why? Because they could trust these brothers, all right? Not to be thieves, all right? This is going back to accountability, all right? And this is us proving one another, not being hasty to credit, brothers and sisters. Because I know most of us up here on this panel been in this truth for a little season, and we saw brothers come and brothers go, sisters come and sisters go, and that's understanding, examining brothers and sisters' spirit before we put them in positions, before we lay responsibility upon them. All right, good with that? All right. So, for instance, yeah.
Accountability.
Yes, sir.
Accountability. A person, organization, or institution required or expected to justify actions or decisions. Responsible.
Responsible. Right. That's it.
Yeah.
Synonym.
Synonyms: responsible, liable, answerable, chargeable, to blame, reporting, subject, under the charge of, bound to obey, obeying, bound by.
That's it. That's it. That's good. So someone was subject, bound to obey. We were bound to obey what? The scriptures. Let's go to Leviticus. Leviticus 19 and 2. We're under a covenant, an oath with our God. That's our responsibility to obey and follow through those oaths and that the oath and the agreement that we made with our Father. All right, let's read that.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 2. Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. Turn ye not unto idols.
So the Most High gave us instructions. These are directions and instructions that we, as the children of Israel, are supposed to obey, follow through with, responsible for applying these actions to our lives. Taking it in account, most of us have children here. We have to teach our children and instruct our children to do what? The right thing. Because if we let them go out in this world and do what they want, they become what? Affected. They become, I want to say,
Part of the world.
yes, a part of the world, but they become monsters. I use that term. All right, to society, not only to society but to your own household. All right, but you have to take the accountability. What are you doing to make sure your children is getting fed the right medicine, getting the right understanding of what it means to be a righteous brother or a righteous sister? That's what these are things that you all have to understand and reflect on. The accountability that oneself has. Each and every one of us have accountability just being in here. As you just saw Soldier Dad, he was over here doing what? They was fixing this. All right, the decorations. All right. Why? Because that's another part of the body that what? That needs brothers and sisters there. You understand? And they're accountable for these different parts of the body. All right? Everybody play their role. All right? From there, go to Exodus 2. Yes, sir. No. Yes, sir. Exodus 2 and 25. Yes, sir.
Exodus chapter 2, verse 25. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them.
Yeah, the Most High had respect unto us because He counted us worthy to do what? Bestow His commandments to us. The scriptures tell us, give me that in Deuteronomy 6 and 7. All right? Because this is a gracious thing that the Father gave us, which is His commandments, which is His covenant, which is what's to come was what? Rulership, power. For all you brothers and sisters out there, I know you sisters want to kick back, kick up your feet, and have all the servants do everything in the kingdom. Not now. Because, right, if you endure. You know what I'm saying? I know brothers, y'all want to go to work? Yeah, hell no, right, that's what I'm saying. So, you're going to continue to endure in this truth. But we have to remember that it's nothing we did to be put in this position to receive what was promised to us. It was the faith of our forefathers. It was the Most High choosing our men that had the spirit to be able to say, okay, the Father wants me to sacrifice my child, that's what I'm going to do. Because, yeah, the faith. That's why I love Hebrews chapter 11. Read that. Because a lot of y'all lack that faith. You understand?
Faith in that promise.
That's right. All right. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
So God chose us to be that special people. We read this all the time at camp. Because the Negro mind can't see what's so special about us. They don't see that. Why? Because we gangbangers, we drug dealers, drug addicts, pimps, hustlers, whores, whoremongers. We everything that you can think of in this world. So we can't picture ourselves being anything more than that. But our God is telling us he chose us above everyone. But it's going to explain him choosing us. It wasn't nothing we did. All right, go ahead.
But thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people. For you were the fewest of all people.
You heard that? It said we were the fewest of all people. There's nothing we did to be chosen by the Most High. It's just of him that we were chosen. So again, and just take it all the way back to the beginning, Genesis, to today. We've been rebelling against our God forever. Forever. Even to this day, we still rebelling. So our Father could have been cast us off, demolished this planet, and moved on with his plans. But he, unlike us, he don't break his word. It don't come back void, right? Everything he said is going to come to pass. All right? So from there, go to Baruch 1. Baruch 1 and 18.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 1, verse 18. And disobeyed him, and have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our God, to walk in the commandments that he gave us openly, since the day that the Lord brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt. Unto this present day we have been disobedient unto the Lord our God, and we have been negligent in not hearing his voice. Wherefore the evils cleaved unto us, and the curse which the Lord appointed by Moses his servant at the time he brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt, to give us a land that floweth with milk and honey, like as it is to see this day. Nevertheless, we have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our God.
So stop right there also. We were given a land was flowing with milk and honey of that the Canaanites dwelled in, that you did nothing for. You did nothing for this, but you did something to get kicked out of that land. You did something to go against the power, which is our Father, that was able to put us in that land, which was able to give us that power to subdue all these nations. All that power via him has been taken away. This is the accountability and responsibility that all you brothers and sisters have to take within yourself, to say we messed up, to say we have to fix it. Every time you come out to these feasts, which is Tabernacle, you have to thank the Father for allowing you to come back to your heritage, allowing you to return to him, because he cast us off. Why? Because what he just read. And what cleaved us? These curses cleaved us. We are destroyed as a people. Why? Because of our disobedience. Our disobedience got everything taken or stripped from us. You have another nation saying they us today. That should make all of you feel a certain way. It should hurt inside. Identity theft. 101. Okay? They stole what was given to you, your name. How would that look or feel for somebody? Because you got to look at it like this. We were given our slave master's name. Plantation, whoever. Give me some names. Walker Plantation. All right. Thomas plantation. What you say?
Rose plantation.
Rose plantation. All right. We was upon these plantations, and these are the names that we took on because we didn't have a heritage. All right. Cap, you got it?
Yeah, that's on point. You know, because you should feel offended. You should feel disrespected. You should feel violated. You should say no more. You understand? Now's enough. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's an inside joke. Just look at it as this, brothers. When you get married in this society, the sisters take on your name, and you have the name of your leader, which is your last name is those so-called oppressors. That should bother you. That should bug you out. You should not look over that. These things, you know, when you read Isaiah 1 and 3, it talks about us not knowing who we are as, and then it also goes into how much more we need to be stricter. What else the Most High got to take for you to understand what's going on? You have people out there baptizing the incorrect way. Who was offended? How y'all know they baptizing the wrong way? Anybody want to stand up and give the answer to that? One of you brothers stand up and give an answer to how you know they was baptizing the wrong way.
Yeah.
Just stand up and call it out. Okay, but it's a prerequisite in the matter of baptizing. Well, that's it. They say sins are done away with. So when you read in the scriptures, the first thing they did when they became baptized, when they went to be baptized, they confessed their sins. I want to go to one precept. Go to Leviticus 23 and 34, because this is what brings us here today, and it's going into what the captain is talking about, and I pray that you all, everyone here, is meditating on what this day is about. If you're not, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 23, verse 34. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the feast of tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord.
Okay, jump down to 36.
Verse 36. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein.
One is giving you the Feast of Tabernacles. It's a feast, and now it's going to how you're supposed to keep it. Jump down to verse 40.
Verse 40. And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of fig trees, and willows of the brook. And ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days.
When you keeping these feast days, you're supposed to rejoice. You're supposed to be happy. It's supposed to be an honor. A day of gladness. Now jump down to verse 43.
Verse 43. That your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths. When I brought them out of the land of Egypt, I am the Lord your God.
What feast day was before the tabernacle? Day of Atonement. The tabernacle is to help you remind you of what the Day of Atonement is about. You understand? Because the Day of Atonement is how we forgive each other, and we cry out to the Most High to forgive us for our sins. And the Tabernacles is showing you how the Most High forgave you for your transgressions. That's why they back to back. It's the spirit of forgiveness. It's the spirit of mercy. You understand? When you understand what this Bible is about, everything has a meaning. Everything has a purpose. It ain't like Christmas where it don't have no purpose. It ain't like Halloween. It ain't just no folklore or something like that, a story that was just made up. No, everything has a meaning. It have a meaning about us as a nation loving one another and forgiving one another. Just the way the Most High say brought us out of the land of Egypt and took us into the wilderness to do what? To depend on each other. We all we need. And the Most High is with us. That's what the Most High is trying to show y'all. And it's the tabernacle and the Day of Atonement. It's about humility. It's not about being prideful. It's not about being self-willed. It's about what you can give to your nation. Nothing matters after this. Only thing matters is how you serve the Most High. Why? Because that's the only way we're going to be able to serve the Most High correctly. And also it says a solemn assembly. Go to Deuteronomy 16. Real quick. 16, is that 18 or 17? Okay, yeah, get that. Watch this. And y'all hold each other accountable. Because we just read one of the stipulations on the tabernacle. It says it should be a holy convocation, a solemn convocation, and also, a solemn assembly.
Right.
And also, you should you should rejoice. And also, when you read Leviticus 19, it tells y'all that we're supposed to hold each other accountable. Read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 16. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, in the feast of weeks, in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty.
That's what the Most High is telling you. When that's men and that's leaders, because we all are leaders. The Bible says every man is supposed to appear 3 times is a tabernacle. When y'all see brothers not keeping the tabernacles, y'all got to question them. Hold them accountable. Because that's what's wrong with our nation. There is no accountability. When the foolishness go on, we don't say nothing about it. We turn the other cheek. No, God do not like that. Because you become a nation void of judgment. That's why the so-called white men have to come over you and police you. Because you can't police yourself. So when you see brothers in your nation that's not keeping the Sabbath, the feast days, we just read it 3 times a year that every male is supposed to appear. Why? Where is everyone? Where the men at? And when y'all see a brother, be like, hey, bro, you just Deuteronomy 16. That's when you become a leader. You're not a leader when you turn a blind eye, act like you don't see it, and I'm gonna wait till one of the captains or the officers up there deal with it. No, it just said the nation of Israel. A holy assembly coming together. Because remember, you're trying to get the Most High grace and mercy back. So he can show you favor. You just asked forgiveness for a week ago. You know what I'm saying? And then you go right back to bitterness and strife and hatred and anger. It's counterproductive. The tabernacle is it's a friendly reminder that you're supposed to have humility for your people. Humble beginnings and humble endings. That's what we are trying to do. But no, we have humble beginnings because you remember that Egypt, that humbled us as a nation. We cried out in the slavery. We cried out, please, Lord, forgive us. I just want to drink water with the white man. I just want to be treated like a human being. I just want to be able to have a job and take care of my people. Now you have that. What you doing with it? Now you can't even, the Most High done bless you so you can have humble endings. But guess what you get? You have prideful endings. You have self-will independence. You don't want to listen. That's not what this is about. This is about change. Because when you think of something, when you come from the hood, you come from broken conditions, the first thing you do, you say, I remember that. And you start to have long suffering. How soon we forget? How soon we forget that you was treated like 3/5 of an animal? You was treated like a beast. Now when somebody try to correct you, you be like, no, who you think you talking to?
Right. That status got them fucked up, Cap. They forgot.
Right. And you supposed to have more understanding and more fear. That's what this is about. That's what the captain is going into for as accountability. That we have to understand what Tabernacle is about. God showed you mercy out of the land of your captivity and took you amongst yourself where you dwelled in booths, and he took care of you. And now in these days, we feel like it's not enough. This right here is beautiful. And your mindset to say, your mindset's supposed to be set to, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that God keep this mercy and this grace on us until Christ come and give us more. Or even just give you mercy and understanding, blessing and forgiveness, and long suffering and patience and charity, because that's what the Most High is giving you when you came out of Egypt. He could have destroyed you. He did destroy you, you know, and then he still gave you the luxury to repent and still have the name and to come back into that, to the nation of Israel. Even though it's the whole world and lied to you and beat you down and destroyed you, gave you bad education, gave you false religions, gave you broken homes, gave you systemic oppression. And the Most High still was able to do all that. He said, don't worry about it. I still have a way to save the righteous. You're just going to be willing to be saved.
That's on point, man. I pray y'all already paying attention, brothers and sisters. Go to Exodus 34:7. Because everything we're doing right now, like I talked to the brothers yesterday, we're rehearsing what's to come. You know what I'm saying? Just get your spirits right now. All right? Because this ain't the last trying that you're going to overcome. This is one phase of it. All right? One phase. That's why this self-accountability has to be applied. All right? Examining oneself. We'll go get that precept. All right? Read that.
The book of Exodus chapter 34 verse 7. Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin.
Just stop right there, because Cap just stated it about forgiveness. The Most High has forgiven us over and over and over and over. So why you not your brother or your sister? Why we tend to forget the forgiveness when it comes to the person that's right here that we see? Well, we add to the Father mercy all the time. And he does what? Continue to what? Forgive us. To show that mercy. But we don't have that same mercy for one another. Christ said, within 70 times 7, all right, in a day, you're supposed to forgive your brother, your neighbor.
Hey, Cap. I was up last night watching it was a church guy saying for love your neighbor. I mean, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And he went into money. He went into prosperity. He went to all other nations. I'm like, wow, how did loving it say love one another. That means, you hear what it said, love one another. I don't get how they get all nation out of that.
Right.
I don't get it. When you love something, it's going to be a head and shoulder difference of something that you don't really love.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? So he's saying that, and he's breaking it down. I'm just watching it. I'm just like, it's puzzling. When the disciples and our forefathers were telling us about loving one another, because one was coming out of captivity, we have like a venomous, causing this hatred for one another. A venomous was deadly. That's the type of hatred that we have that was trained and beat and that's a trained and educate, taught everything to us.
Right. With a lynch, right.
You have to understand that. So when Christ was talking about love your neighbor as you love yourself, what that means? To a point, we don't even know how to talk to each other. What's that, Proverbs 15?
Yes, sir.
Read that. Yeah.
That's it. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up strife. Anger.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness.
Go ahead.
The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good.
Go ahead.
And a wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach in the spirit. A fool.
Wait, stop right there. You see that? It goes into a wholesome tongue. Even our music is not wholesome. How we cuss we disrespect each other so bad. I slept with your girl. I beat you up. I jumped them. I stabbed them. I shot them. That's what we marinate our mind into.
Right.
To where we dance to it. We dance to foolishness. We dance to hatred. The decay of our people. You're not talking about doing that to Jewish people. Your record will be snatched off the shelves.
Right, right.
That's why I say we have a venomous, poisonous hatred. It's deadly. It's on a cycle. And now that's what the Most High is telling us, that you have to learn how to love your people. You got to learn how to speak to them. And it's difficult. It's difficult. Because we go out there and teach God's words, and we treat it worse than the drug dealers. We treat worse than the child pedophiles. When they see us out there teaching the God's word, the whole neighborhood start to say, who is these niggas? Get them out of here now. They is destroying our community. I thought the drugs did. I thought Pookie did. I didn't break in your house. I didn't break in your car. Because they are taught to hate each other day and night. To love each other, they don't know how to do. That's why Christ said we should love one another. How? What has you been atonement for? God dealt with us aggressively. Remember he told Moses, let me alone. I've seen these people before. They stiff-necked and rebellious. I'm finna judge them. But guess what? He have mercy. He have long suffering. He remembered the covenant. Why don't you remember it? Because you the one needed. Nobody's up there torturing God. Only thing your misbehavior is. That's the only thing is right now. So we have to learn how to talk to each other positively. To talk to each other positively, you got to think positively. When you have an evil eye, that's an unkept spirit. That's an unkept mind. If you have an evil eye to your brother or you have an evil eye to your sister, that's an unkept mind. That's a double-minded person. Because you say I'm a love guy, I need mercy, but then I hate my brother over here, I'm ready to kill him, I'm ready to judge him. Lord, get him out of here. That's a double-minded person right there. Because you ask for something that you need, but you ain't willing to give it.
Right.
So we have to learn to love each other. We read over it all. I know y'all want to know the deep stuff. The deepest thing is learning how to love your people.
Right.
It's so deep because Solomon asked for it. How to deal with these people. Because they're going to make you want to hate them. That's why your celebrities don't help you. That's why your politicians don't help you. That's why nobody's helping you. Because dealing with a difficult people. And the only thing going to help our people is a spiritual intervention. Continue to a soft answer to turn away wrath. How many of y'all say, I'm tired of showing sympathy. I'm tired of forgiving that person. He keep doing the same thing. What about you keep doing the same thing? What about you keep breaking God's laws? What about you thinking negatively? When it talks about we got to have a quiet spirit, not just in our words, but in our thoughts. That's when you meditate in good things. You see the good in each other. It's a soft answer turn away wrath. That is a skill. That's a skill. That is, we don't read of that all the time and think that's something cheap. That's one of the expensive investments you're going to make.
Right.
Because it's difficult. Because you can forgive when you want forgiveness when you did something wrong, but you don't want to forgive when you've been treated wrong, especially if you feel like somebody trying to play you or trying to embarrass you. The first thing you do, I got to defend myself. Right. I got to say something. That's where that old man come in at. Remember Christ. It say he had no guile. He took his death with honor. He took his death in the spirit of forgiveness. What did he say? Forgive them for they know not what they do. Stephen, forgive them for they know not what they do. That's what this truth is about. You need to learn how to forgive. You need to learn how to speak. That's key one in loving your brothers, is learn how to think about them, how to perceive them, and how to speak to them, and how to deal with them. Because when you love one another, you got to know who you love it. And two, and how to love them.
Right.
All right, you got it.
Yep, that's 100% on point. That's why evaluate yourself to have that accountability of oneself. Are you forgiving your neighbor? That's what you got to ask yourself. You can't want forgiveness and you have none. You have pride. Huh?
It's not easy.
It's not easy at all.
Forgiveness is not easy at all. Trust me, I still deal with it.
It's
you know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm telling y'all that it's important that y'all, my bad.
You good, you don't need.
That's why I'm telling y'all it's very important. The deep stuff is good.
Right.
But forgiveness is going to get you the kingdom. You understand? Deep stuff is going to look at me.
Right.
Look how I break this precept down. But you don't know how to break down lust. You don't know how to break down lust and temptation.
Right.
In your hour of temptation. You don't know how to do that. You got to learn that soft answer. You got to learn how to forgive because it's very important. It's a trying thing. It's a gift that needs to be exercised and have to be taken with a daily diet. And that's why you got to meditate on the word day and night. And that's how you're going to prosper. That's how you're going to have success. What is the success? It's moving in the spirit of the Lord. Moving like Christ, the example that he walked in. Sometimes, instead of being mad at your brother, you got to go pray for your brother. God, open his brother's heart. Open his heart. My wife don't understand. Lord, open her heart. My husband don't understand. Oh, Lord, open his heart. And when you ask the Lord, be willing to wait. That's why it's faith and not facts. You have faith in the Lord that He's going to help you. He's not going to leave you stranded. He said, "Cast all your cares on me, and endure to the end." He didn't say that keep going to the end. Nothing is going to happen to you. He said, "Endure to the end." My brother, every time I see this brother, it's like it's a problem between him and his brother. God, can you open his heart or give me a spirit of long suffering? Help me to be able to deal with it. Who pray like that? Who pray like that?
You asking y'all a question.
Yeah, I'm raising your hand. You raise your hand. Who pray like that?
Pray like that.
Look at that. Look around. And that's why we have problems in our nation. That's why. Because we always had a spirit of getting fed up. I'm tired. I got zero tolerance. I'm burnt out. I can't take it no more. Can't take what no more? Okay. Now that's you from your mouth to God's ears. Okay, what if God said I can't take it no more?
You wouldn't be here.
Can't take it no more. Come on up here and talk to you real quick about it. You don't want that conversation, huh? You don't want that interpersonal communication with the Most High. You don't want him to say let's talk about it face to face. So you want to get down, come down here and try to get it right. I don't think God has asked you to love each other and just show each other a little mercy. That's only thing is to afflict yourself. So when you have the urge to want to hate somebody, the same way the urge that you have for food and you overlook that, the same way you're able to wink at the ignorance or that your brother's doing and that your sister's doing. Because we need it. We've been destroyed. We never seen it. We never seen a husband and wife. Who raising the household when they mother and daddy was there and they mother and father, they grandparents, and it was just a successful marriage. And you grew up in a successful community. None of us never seen it.
No.
So why are you holding your brother and sister feet to the fire? Because they don't know. They came in here just like you, barely making it, looking for answers and lost.
Right.
Because sick. Why? Because you lost tribe of Israel. And you trying to recover. You trying to find yourself. All right. Okay.
All praises. Hey, Josh, you on the road, man. Go to Sirach 28. You know, 'cause everything goes back to you. All right. Class about to start in a minute. Yeah. Everything goes back to you, brothers and sisters. I pray that y'all really paying attention. We're going to end it with this scripture so we can get ready for class. But everything that came out in this little short time, go back and reflect on these things. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, everything starts and ends with you. You know, like Cap said, you're holding a grudge. You can't get over X, Y, Z. Like, that's one thing you said, Cap. We don't have that tolerance. We don't have patience. All right? Scripture say, in your patience, possess ye your soul. Of you what? Getting to the kingdom. Of you overcoming this relationship of a marriage that might not be going the way it should be going at this present time.
That's why a lot of our people love working for Esau, going to support Esau and other nations, because they know how to have that customer service and that soft answer. It ain't that they not think negative about you.
Right.
They think negative about you.
Right.
They think you filthy and disgusting.
Right.
They'll take your money and act like they like you and work with you. You know what I mean? Because you're going to make their job easier because you're a flunky for them. That same thing, they have the same thought that your people have. History shows it. They more dangerous. But one thing with our people, we don't have a soft answer. You go visit go to a doctor, they be like, with our people, they be like, dang, you still alive? You be like, man, you already, you know what I mean, nervous of going to the doctor anyway, and they just have no mercy giving you your diagnosis. Right. You know what I'm saying? And just how we do, we very aggressive with one another to where we are scared and we are intimidated and we feel insecure being around our own people. Everybody, because you're in the hood, you're a thug and you want to kill and you want to, you know what I mean, rape and gangbang. No, you got people that's there that is uncomfortable.
Right.
Because that's what it is. And we got to learn to change that to have that sensitivity towards one another. To where it's okay to be vulnerable. To where a sister is born without a father, that the community and the drug dealers is not going to take advantage of her.
Right.
A young man don't know which way he's going, so let me take him, let me make him a runner, let me make him do this and exploit him. No, he can show his vulnerability, and he have men that's here that's going to love him and protect him and make sure he's on the right path. That's what we need. And then you'll be more comfortable around your people. But it starts with us.
That's my point, John. Read that.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 28, verse 1. He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord.
That's you not being patient. That's you trying to take every condition in your own hand and change it. Resolve it. That's a better one. All right? When you're not allowing the Most High that's going to fight for you to put these things in motion. But it starts with you. You brothers and sisters have to look within yourself and say, what am I not doing that I should be doing to make this circumstance or this situation better? That's what you got to ask. Because you're dynamic in every situation. Because you're in that situation. Whether you're here, you're at home, you're at work, whatever you're doing, you're in that dynamic. All right? It's just what part are you playing in that whole dynamic? All right? Are you being a help to it? Are you being a hindrance? How are you actually putting, advice or guidance out there to resolve it, to fix it? All right? Finish that. Go ahead.
He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord, and he will surely keep his sin in remembrance. Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he hath done unto thee. So shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest.
So you have to have forgiveness. You have to be able to forgive your neighbor, your wife, your children, whoever have done evil towards you and treated you with disrespect or lack of respect, whatever the case may be, done you wrong, stolen from you, whatever happened in your life, you have to be able to forgive, let it go. Because carrying that weight for the rest of your life, it's not worth it. Too much baggage, man. You understand? I need less baggage than I can take on, okay? I don't need it. I don't want to bring in more. So for me to forgive my brother and leave, just cast that behind me, we dealt with it, we resolved it, move forward. Because all it's going to do is erode at your spirit. And you won't be here anymore. The Most High will take his spirit from you, and you'll be another, again, walking zombie, twice dead. Understand? Finish it.
Verse 3. One man beareth hatred against another.
See that? That's because you're not fixing it within yourself to do what? Forgive this brother or this sister. Understand? You're bearing hatred for one another. Hatred can go by, like Kev brought out, a soft answer turneth away wrath, or it can go by literally your actions. What are you doing to this brother or sister every time you see them? How do you treat them? You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
One man beareth hatred against another, and doeth he seek pardon from the Lord?
Again, we've been saying the same thing this whole time. You do wrong, but you're going to go ask the Most High for forgiveness. In your tent, at home, wherever you may be. Because you're going to do something wrong. We're not perfect. Understand? You're going to ask the Father for forgiveness. And probably when you go in your tent. Because your conscience is something that's going to eat at you. You know when you did wrong. Just be honest. You know what I'm saying? And you try to correct it. And who you go to first? The Father. You know what I'm saying? But how you go to the Father if you haven't fixed that with your brother? It don't make sense. You got something? Oh,
Verse 4. He showeth no mercy to a man which is like himself.
Which is like himself. That's why you got to consider Christ. That's why Christ, as it says in Hebrews 2, 2:16. It was, I'm butchering y'all.
I need to do that right now.
Yeah. Thank you. It was necessity. It was need for him to come in the flesh. So you can't say he didn't live, he didn't go through this. He didn't bear what we're bearing. He didn't live in this earth. He wasn't treated like we treated. Oh yeah, he was dealt the same that you were dealt today and worse.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.